Hi everyone, I recently watched 3 movies, Dredd, Resident Evil 5, and Looper. Firstly, Dredd. If you've seen the original Judge Dredd, watch that. You don't really have to watch this new one. Nothing was really that spectacular about the movie. There was some cool special effects here and there, but really drawn out action scenes for the most part, and really not a lot of story development, not a lot of character development for either the main characters, Judge Dredd, or his sidekick, and nothing about Mama really being developed that much. I mean, it really could have gotten a lot deeper, could have been a lot cooler, but it was like a nice little touch on the Dredd world. But again, if you watch the original Judge Dredd movie, that movie is just fantastic, and I think it's a great movie, even though it's a really bad movie, but that's one of my most favorite movies, besides Emperor's New Groove and Tangled. So if you get the chance to watch Dredd, okay, go ahead, but really, you're not missing much. You can just skip that movie. Resident Evil 5. I cannot believe there are 5 of them, but I've watched each and every one, and number 5 is painful in the beginning. Even though Dredd, the movie, had a drug called slow-mo, there were more slow-motion special effects being used per time in Resident Evil 5 than Dredd. So it was just really, really drawn out in the first, let's say, like 30 minutes, half hour of the movie. It was super drawn out. They could have just shortened it up, not had all these long, drawn out special effects, slow motion scenes that didn't really need to be there. But as you get through like the hour mark, the movie gets progressively better. The whole storyline just really collapses in on itself and does a good development of characters, and you really get a feel of what's going on. And finally, the big ending, you're just like, yes, I want number 6 to be shown. And so I'm waiting on number 6. If you follow the Resident Evil series, watch this one. You have to follow along with it all. Have some popcorn with it. It'll help. Have some people to talk to. It'll help some more. And yeah, definitely watch Resident Evil 5 if you watch the other ones, because the ending is just fantastic. I love the ending. Looper, I thought was going to be a god-awful movie. I really, really thought it. But Bruce Willis has already done time travel in one of his movies called 12 Monkeys. And if you've seen 12 Monkeys and you've liked it, you'll like this a lot more. It's just more special effects, more going into depth of characters. Even though it was a really long movie, I think it was 2 hours plus, it felt like it anyway, it's worth it. It really does a good job filling in all these gaps of how the time travel works, how things work out. And overall, I only found about 2 real plot holes, and they weren't really that big of a deal. 4 total plot holes. But again, like, for what they did in the sci-fi movie, they did a great job just filling all the little parts and patches to make sure their world made sense. And they topped it off with great action scenes, so really appreciated that. And the biggest thing that they really did a good job on was the continuity of going into the future, back into time, going to the future, back into time. That kind of sequence, they did a good job overall, making sure it made sense. So, my 4 plot holes. So if you don't want to know about the movie, stop watching this video now. Right, you had your chance. Okay, so my 4 plot holes. The first plot hole is, in the future, they can't kill anybody, yet they still carry guns around. That's kind of messed up. Sure, you still carry guns, but if you're going to kill somebody, then what's the whole point of sending people back in time if you're accidentally killing someone? You know, it just doesn't make sense on that. 2, along those same lines, they actually do kill Bruce Willis's wife. And because they do that, it's just like, okay, so what's the consequence? They don't seem to it wasn't like a super, super big deal that this guy just, you know, all of a sudden pulled the trigger and someone dies. They're like, oh, okay. This whole reason we send people back in time is so we don't have to deal with killing people in this time right now, because you apparently get in a lot of trouble. Which I don't know what happens here, it just makes no sense. Another weird plot hole is, well, obviously if you kill the person in the past, they won't be existing in the future, so when the main character's best friend doesn't kill himself from the future, and then he's running around, why don't they just kill him and then just get it over with? Because they do this really, really long, drawn-out thing where he's on the operating table and he's getting his fingers cut off, his arms cut off, his legs cut off, so he's just a torso, and then they kill the future one. So what are they doing with the past one? Are they just gonna keep him alive, reattach his limbs? They don't explain that part, so it doesn't really help. Because I just assume he's dead anyway. Because they were just doing it for the calisthenics, for the audience to understand how time travel works. If you get affected in the past, you'd be affected in the future. I think that's all it's really there for, but it didn't make sense in a whole grand scheme of things that, okay, we need to get rid of the future guy so he doesn't screw up our time. Why not just kill the guy in the past? I don't know, that's a weird plot hole. Anyway, those were my 4 plot holes. For a sci-fi movie, those were my 4 plot holes that I found, and that's it. that's pretty good for a sci-fi movie. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 92%, and I agree with them. They did a stellar job with a sci-fi movie with a lot of good actors, a lot of great special effects, slow-mo when it was needed, and just overall, fantastic movie. Definitely watch Looper if you get the chance, and the rest of the movies, well, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, here it comes.
Happy day to you. Happy birthday.